Hey guys, welcome to the global debut here in Las Vegas of the brand new Volkswagen ID.7. You may know the ID.3, the ID.4, and you may be wondering what happened to the ID.5 and 6, but here we are at the 7, and I'm here with Andre, and we will answer all your questions about this new car because they just unveiled it now. Some of the things we can't answer are why it's camouflage, but we'll talk about that as well. So Andre, what is the ID.7?
Well, it's a sedan, and it's a global car for VW. Of course, it's all electric. That's what ID means, right? And there's an ID.6 in China only market, but this is going to be available throughout the world. China, Europe, North America, and it's here making its world debut in Vegas, like you said, and it's a large sedan. They call it a long-range electric car.
So let's show them around the car now. One of the most striking things about this is that they have announced the range, at least on the European cycle, Andre. So what's the range of this vehicle?
Well, it's called WLTP cycle, right? It's what they use in Europe as well. And 700 kilometers is the range rating, which translates to about 435-ish miles, which means it's a long-range electric car, but EPA rating may be different, right?
Yeah, usually the EPA rating is at least a 20% lower number than the European cycle. And this paint job, dare I say camouflage job, is unique, isn't it, Andre? It's actually 40 layers of luminescent paint.
Yeah, so I'm not sure exactly how this works, but they said there's 40 layers of paint. Some of it you can actually put the current through, and some of it is insulating. And you can connect, music system to this, and the car will kind of flash for you.
Now, not too long ago, BMW introduced their version of this kind of luminescent paint, and you can kind of see this part's lit up more than that part.
Yes.
And I think luminescent paint are the next frontier in car exterior coloring, because when you think about what this can do, it can change like a chameleon, right? You can have different colors, you can have different, dare I say it, textures, Andre.
Yeah, totally. And also, you might be wondering, how big is this car, right?
Yeah.
Well, some people called it mid-size sedan. I think it's actually a little bit longer because the wheelbase is almost 117 inches, which means it's about as big wheelbase as an Audi A7. So it actually has a lot of space right there in the middle. So it's actually almost a large sedan. That's why it's a 7.
Now, what platform is it built on?
It's MEB, their modular electric platform that underpins the ID.4. They haven't announced exactly where it's going to be built, right? And they haven't announced exactly when it's hitting North American market. But we think it may be a 2024 introduction for this one.
Now, the thing we can't show you, unfortunately, is the inside of the car, and that's important because on the inside, Andre, they have their new infotainment user interface.
Yes.
Because the current one, has been panned by critics, let's be honest about that.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. And VW says, they listened to some of the criticisms and they've updated it. They also have a large screen now. At least that's what they told us. We cannot see it at this time. So they have updated a lot of those features. They talked about also, you know how some cars have vents that you can control digitally for your HVAC and AC system? And the ID.7 has the same feature. And they tell me, dude, when you approach it with a key, it will start to precondition itself, right? So kind of welcoming the driver.
So let's talk about the things we can talk about. What kind of size wheels do we have here? Are those 20s?
I think they are, dude. These are Scorpion tires, dude.
They're Pirellis.
Yep. And these are 20s.
Yep.
And what do you think about the design? I mean, it looks more traditional to me than wild.
Yeah, and is this a hatchback or is this a sedan?
Ooh.
Let's take a look. We're going to do some forensic automotive science here and see where the cut line is. I think I think that there's a line right there, Andre.
You know what?
So to me that suggests
so it's almost
hatch.
like a hatchback, but they're calling it a sedan.
Should we call it a fastback?
I would, because look at this sloping roofline.
All right, and where do you think is the plug? Is it there maybe? Is that where? It's so hard to tell, but I think that may be the port, right? Because you can kind of see the outline of it right there.
Yeah.
So that may be where the actual port is.
And you can kind of see the style of it, the design of the lights, right? It kind of spans the entire width. I mean, this part is camouflaged, but you can see the LED signature. Yeah, it's actually going all the way across.
Of course, we have no exhaust ports, which would be typical of an electric car. No, here it is. Look, I was wrong.
Oh, that's a big, huge door.
So there, you can see it. That's pretty obvious.
But look at the side glass, too. This cut line right there shows kind of the greenhouse.
Let's look at the front and do a little bit more forensic automotive science here and see what else we can figure out. The headlights are interesting, right? Look at this pattern right here. That's kind of cool. This very, dare I say it, modular look almost?
Almost like animal kind of design, right? It almost looks like an eye to me.
Well, it could be, but then of course this could be a cheetah pattern, right?
But look, the headlight will also kind of extend over here and also across the car. I think there might be an LED strip that's actually running along.
All right, we have a big, bold Volkswagen logo, of course.
Yes.
And then you got these QR codes. So if you're watching this and you want to,
Please scan it.
yeah, scan it. I'll leave it. I'll leave the phone on it for a second, and you can see where it takes you. I'm betting it probably takes you to a Volkswagen ID.7 page.
So also, Roman, it's very important aerodynamics, right?
Right.
So VW says they worked a lot, very carefully on aerodynamics. So it has an air curtain that goes all the way along the car. And of course, that gets you efficiency, right? The better aerodynamics gets you efficiency. You can also see the radar. So driver assistance technologies, of course. You can kind of see the front radar right there in the front.
Now they're just setting up for SEMA, so if you guys hear airplanes and helicopters and
Planes?
and chainsaws, it's because they're just setting up for. Sorry, CES, not SEMA. I'm in the wrong show, Andre. I do like the kind of the haunches. You can see those. Those look really good.
Yeah.
And we don't know things like the battery size,
Or the
stuff
power.
or the power,
Or the price.
or the price, or
Right.
0 to 60, or any of the things that you might be wondering about. But we do know that it will be a 2024 most likely.
Yeah, let's walk this way.
Yeah, looks like we have a Italian journalist that we're getting in our shot. And this is, like I said, it's a world debut, so there's journalists here from around the entire world. Which
Yeah,
is kinda
totally,
cool.
because this car is relevant for the entire world, like
Yeah.
we said, and most of the continents.
I like it, Andre. I like the design of it. Look, we're living in an age of the crossover and SUV, right? So, of course, sedans are hard to sell. It's kind of like selling into a headwind.
Yeah.
And we know that in America, the next ID that's actually coming is probably the ID Buzz, which is their new van.
Right.
But I guess in a lineup of now 2 crossovers, right? Because in Europe they have the ID.3, which we don't get, and the ID.4 here. And now the van, a sedan makes sense.
Yeah, totally, and that's what the CEO said. He said sedan is not dead, which is true for many consumers. And this will fight against what? Probably other vehicles from, I would say, premium manufacturers. Is that, I mean, I know it's not an Audi, right? But this is a large sedan.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, let's face it, the Volkswagen Group also owns Audi, so
Yes. So hopefully it won't compete with too many Audis.
A7? No, very different than the A7.
Yeah, yes.
And of course, it's electric. Anyway, guys, let us know in the comments below what you think. I know you're probably going to be saying, well, you didn't give us enough information, but this is
That's the information we have.
very early look at this new Volkswagen electric ID.7. And remember, guys, you saw it first. Well, actually, Rady had his video up first. So you saw it second this time.
Second.
On the fast lane car. Yeah, go to alltfl.com where we, of course, have all of our coverage of CES. And believe me, there'll be more and more stuff coming from CES, so please stay tuned. And we'll see you guys next time. Ciao.